We continue to follow market reaction after President Trump's so-called Liberation Day. Tariffs were blocked by a federal court. We're talking about the sweeping 10% tariffs that Trump placed on virtually every U.S. trading partner. This was back on April 2nd. The panel of judges also blocked a separate set of tariffs imposed on China, Mexico, and Canada. Here now, economics reporter with the Wall Street Journal, Rachel Wolfe. Rachel, thank you for joining us today. The U.S. Court of International Trade ruled that these tariffs were illegal, but do we know what's behind the court's reasoning here?
The courts basically said that Trump does not have authority to enact these sweeping tariffs across the board, that the federal deficit is not enough of an emergency for such broad-based tariffs.
And what kind of reaction have you been hearing so far from the business world?
Businesses really don't know what to do. It's feeling a little bit like the boy who cried wolf with tariffs, and it's just not an environment in which businesses really want to make any moves whatsoever. Think about it, if you're a business and you're trying to decide, should I hire more employees or even should I lay them off? You just don't know which way is up, and so businesses are really sitting tight. They are not going to make any radical investments or disinvestments, on the other hand, while we're still sorting through all of this uncertainty.
Right, and that's the word there. It certainly seems like that uncertainty continues even after the ruling. Now, when these tariffs took effect, the Trump administration touted all of these potential trade deals, saying world leaders were coming to the table ready to make deals. So what does this ruling mean for those trade deals, especially if you're a country and you're sitting on the table right now trying to hash out a deal, but then you hear about this ruling? So what does this mean?
It definitely doesn't help Trump's case. I think that the countries that, kind of thought that Trump was all talk now have an even better case. Trump was just undermined in a really big way. And there are still some moves that he can make. He is not out of options by any means. And as we know, some tariffs do remain. But it's certainly not a strength that this has just happened.
So let's bring this back now to the American consumer. Let's talk about what it means for them, because we've seen just prices rise on a lot of popular items. Like think of Temu or even Shein. They have some items in their websites where prices are much more expensive. So what does this ruling mean? Does this now mean that companies can reverse course on these higher prices?
I know, I saw this myself when I went to shop on Shein recently. So it could be a reprieve from high prices for shoppers. But again, because businesses don't really know what to do, they don't know what's going to happen, it doesn't necessarily translate, especially not immediately. There's really still a lot of questions about what this means. And so it could help. It could soften what was set to be a pretty big blow. I don't think that prices are just going to now come back down to where they were. I think that companies still need to insulate themselves from, again, all of this chaos.
Yeah, and I always say,
prices
go ahead.
Will follow. Yeah.
I always say when prices go up, it's almost very, very much impossible for it to come down. So that's always a terrifying thing. Once it goes up, get nervous. All right, so the Trump administration, they have appealed this decision from the courts, and this means the tariff whiplash may not be over quite yet. That uncertainty continues. How long do you think this is going to play out?
It's indefinite. As a reporter covering this, I mean, we all, every day it feels like it's something new. It's certainly not over. The trade war continues. Trump does not seem to be 1 ounce defeated in his methods. And, again, there are some places that tariffs remain. And I think that like steel, aluminum, car parts, some of the tech goods that we're getting from China. And so, if he's having success there, perhaps he will use those same methods in some of these other areas. We just really don't know yet. But I personally think that this will continue for months to come. We have another, there was supposed to be a pause. It's going to get unpaused. Where does that stand? I think we're all just waiting and seeing.
Yep, the uncertainty continues. Rachel Wolfe, thank you so much once again for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.